is a town of natural beauty, ethnic diversity, and multicultural sharing. But do we consider it to be a paradise for social and racial harmony? When people think of Hawaii, they oftentimes imagine a paradise where the natural beauty of our environment is equal to the beauty of the local Hawaiian culture. But could there be underlying social and racial issues in the society that we call paradise?
The influx of people that have moved here has caused a lot more divisions in the ethnicity, or people's differences have gotten in the way now just because of different cultures.
Racial differences are tolerated. I believe that because there are a lot of people from different backgrounds, and people will make fun of others, and they'll just be like, they're Filipino, or oh, they're just Hawaiian. So I think that it's kind of like a tolerated situation.
We grew up there's just so many different nationalities and ethnicities and everybody that we kind of grown accustomed to each other, and we kind of have, I think, a little bit more tolerance for people of different ethnicities. I think the younger generation is completely open to ethnic diversity. I think a lot of the older people grew up in a more stricter society, so I think the younger generation kind of see that you can kind of break outside the barriers and be more open.
I believe that Hilo is very accepting to a lot of different races. You'll go out to the park and you'll see every different type of race. There may be people that are standoffish, but there's so much aloha on this particular island, on this side of the island, that I think that Hilo is pretty open.
It's not like I'm angry at people when I tease them, so it's not like I don't feel like I'm being prejudiced or racist towards those people that I make fun of. It's all in good fun though.
The biggest thing for me is when people use the word haole. I mean, even though I was born and raised here and I am considered local, I mean, haole is something that people just look at you and automatically assume.
Maybe it's the company I keep. I don't really witness it too often myself, or those around me targeted in any way, but I do notice it in the community when they call you stupid Hawaiian, or you're Kanaka, and they use it in a wrong connotation.
Yeah, I guess they're chopping them down, the other person, the other race, I guess. I feel like that's the way they can get to them, or make them angry.
I'm at work, and let's say my coworker makes a mistake, and I believe, to me, a racial slur would be like, oh, what, you're Portuguese, I mean, it's funny because me and my coworker knows what it means, but yet we're demeaning of ethnic background.
I think because they don't know the person personally, that's why they use racial slurs, because they just view people as dark-skinned people or low-class people, and they don't know anything. But when they really get to know everything about us, then they realize we do know a lot of things.
There's like that saying, one rotten apple in a bucket of apples, good apples, will turn a whole bunch rotten. In a sense of some people's, that's basically a stereotype, and from that it turns into a prejudice because they just bunch it up. One person just does something wrong, and as an example, they would say, "Oh, look at that local guy. Oh, he did this. Or they must be all the same." And that's stereotyping. And next thing it turns into a prejudice because they're like, "Oh, and I like higher local guys because they all gonna be the same."
I believe that these are racist. It's my own personal belief, but I also believe as a society we don't say anything because we don't want to make waves with one another.
It's the same thing, prejudice, stereotyping. You have to believe that they're different in some way, and you gain and form an opinion of it, which can be a form of prejudice to me. I'm not sure if it was something that was implanted by their background or maybe their family or their place that they live in, but it is definitely an influence how people judge
It
others.
has a lot to do with, I think, upbringing of offspring or of my upbringing, let's say perchance. It's also of a physical appearance too, of the look of a person. So, most people make their judgment off of, he looks Hawaiian, he looks Portuguese, he looks Japanese. So, they may not even be that ethnicity, it might be something else. But I think a lot of it has to do with upbringing. From when I was younger to now, I think it's way better now due to that people see the acceptance of it. It has softened. A lot of people were more territorial in a sense with quotations because everything was like, oh, they want something or this group wants something. But it's not. It's just with the spirit of aloha in Hilo. I mean,
a spirit of aloha here. I think the basis of the people that really formed and nurtured the place of Hawaii and our culture and beliefs really does hold the spirit of aloha. I just don't believe that all people hold the same spirit of aloha within themselves.
Although I view the community really accepting towards different ethnicities, and we strive to live in a place that we can proudly say accepts different types of people and cultures. I know there are underlying factors of racial issues that we struggle with. I mean, sometimes we joke about our ethnic backgrounds, and it's kind of like stereotypes that we've established over the years. And I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to use those stereotypes as a part of their racial slurs when they're angry or they don't like a certain type of people or what they did. As the study progressed, I began to be more aware of what I say and what other people say, and it really has opened my eyes on how the community responds to ethnic diversity. They are very open to it.
I think a lot of it has to do with respect of cultures and differences. And I think once people lose that respect, a lot of our conflict stems from our racial differences. I remember when I was growing up, I have a mixed background heritage. My grandmothers were Hawaiian, and my grandfathers, one was from Okinawa, and the other was from Portugal, and they were second-generation immigrants. And I remember going to the stores with either or of my parents, and my mom is Portuguese Hawaiian, and I noticed how people would treat her, especially now or before. They were very nice towards her, or very helping, and it just seemed that she got along with a lot of different people. And when I would go with my dad, it was a different crowd that he would draw. A lot of the local people would know him and things like that, but I noticed that if we were to go out to a nice lunch or a dinner or something, that it seemed like a lot of people judged him because he was dark-skinned. Many people didn't really think that he was Hawaiian, or if they did think he was Hawaiian, that he wasn't as smart as the rest of the people. And that really shaped my perception on how people view me and how I view others. I like to think that I am much more accepting of people of different cultures, but I think there are a lot of things that we've grown up with that is hard to get rid of, like ethnic stereotyping. I mean, we all do it. I hear a lot of people say things like that and jokingly say it, and they mean no harm, but it's something that we've grown up with, and our experiences with other people really shape how we want to be treated and how we treat others. The community of Hilo is really, I really believe that it can be a place of social harmony, social and racial harmony. It's just that we are faced with a lot of other factors that make people unhappy, and perhaps that's why, we use racial slurs. But the point of this study was to see how other people viewed our community and to just gain a better understanding of why they would use racial slurs.